It's loading. Okay, so hello and welcome to PropTech Buzz, a global platform for PropTech and construction tech products and leaders from around the world. In this podcast, we talk to founders, CEOs, investors, and innovators in the PropTech space to learn how they build and grow successful companies that utilize the latest cutting edge technologies to revolutionize the real estate and construction industry. Before we dive into our introduction, I encourage all our listeners to subscribe to our podcast channel and join our community in proptechbuzz.com. There we share the latest information and insights on PropTech topics, and also there you can hang out with CEOs and innovators from around the world in the construction industry. Today, I'm so excited to have a discussion with my guest and a close friend of mine, the brilliant young man, Mohamed Hassan. He is a digital construction specialist with a wide wealth of experience in utilizing technology to enhance construction industry and its practices. With focus on BIM and digital project management, he is at the front end of driving innovations and efficiency in construction by using new technologies. His work is pivotal in transforming traditional construction methods and advancing sustainable building practices to be more efficient and costless over time. Welcome, Muhammad, to our podcast. I hope you're doing great.
Welcome. How are you? How
Okay.
are you?
To start off, I want you, if you can, give us a bit of background about yourself and what motivated you to go into and specialize in digital construction.
Okay, so my name is Mohamed Hassan. I'm a digital construction specialist. I'm working currently at Egypt
Yeah,
and in the Middle East generally. So what made me pivot into digital construction? My main drive, or what made me pivot, is making an impact. Wanting to make an impact in our society, in our whole world, is something pivotal, really. That also generated from volunteering experiences in a lot of entities and a lot of NGOs, um, and of course some training and seeing the construction sector as it is currently today. It's something, of course, it's revolutionary that we have progressed so far, but still we are not close yet to our goal. And that's why I'm pivoting to digital construction so I can have an impact in our society as a whole.
yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's fascinating. So nowadays it seems like digitization is becoming increasingly important um, in construction and all other fields. So nowadays, why do you think we need it? Why do you think we need digitization, and what problems does it address in our traditional methods in construction, especially?
Well, as you have just said, the traditional methods are overwhelming us in our sector today. So, owners, general contractors, and subcontractors, each one of these stakeholders use different platforms, uses different softwares, and use different technologies, which results in huge data silos and huge misinterpretation and huge miscollaboration of our fleet. So that's why, and that's unfortunately as well, almost fifth of all the stakeholders use at least five or six different softwares in our field today, which led, of course, in these silos. This, of course, makes our integrations and communications a lot harder, and it limits our projects and data usage. So
Yeah,
that's why we need to pivot into digital construction and pivot into connected workflows.
yeah, yeah. That's very informative. So um, you raised some interesting points there. But despite the need that the construction industry has always been, historically speaking, one of the least digitized industries in the world. So, why do you think that has been the case over the time? Why has construction always been one of the least digitized sectors among all sectors?
Well, I really don't think that any one of us can argue about that. That this industry is a bit laggard or a bit stiff. the ground. And history have proven that in a lot of times. That generally is because that, the idea or the idea of construction is mainly generated from subcontractors. Subcontractors are doing most of the work, and the subcontractors' business in construction is usually a family business. So that's why it's a lot harder for these people to transform into digital processes to utilize their let's say concrete pouring. They do not use technological advancements in this sector, but still they are using the old sector the traditional ways, which makes it a lot harder for them to pivot into cloud data or controlled data environments.
Yeah, yeah, this is interesting. So basically, what you're saying that with bigger players coming into the ground and bigger companies coming, the digitization of construction sector is going to happen more rapidly in the future. Yeah. Um, okay, so I want to dive deeper into some specifics. Can you explain to me, or explain to us how digital transformation happen, and especially through the cloud solutions in construction field?
And that's a very good question because cloud-based solutions is really revolutionary in our industry today and all other industries. If we're considering other industries in the IT sector, AWS, Amazon, or Google, or Bentley, or whatsoever, there are a lot of different cloud solutions nowadays, and there are specific cloud solutions for our construction industry today. So the whole basis of the using the cloud is using like three main workflows. The first thing is digitalization of our old data and restoring it and or uploading it to our cloud. So we digitize it through making our information, our paper information, used collaboratively in the cloud, and how collaboratively through workflow integrations. So we can automate manual workflows from automated reviews, from automated contract reviews or transmittals, or whatsoever happens in our old workflows through hand-to-hand submittals. We can use it on the cloud, so it can be much easier, much faster, and we can have version control our documents
Mm.
and
So
finance, of course. Of course, go ahead.
yeah, so okay, so basically, these documents, do we like get printed on the site, or we take it from the offices to the site, but shared among all the stakeholders at the same time?
Of course, this is also the basis of our CDE solutions or our common data environment that's happening on the cloud. So
Yeah,
instead of just okay, so instead of just having to let's say per se, instead of manually giving a message to one of our subcontractors to another subcontractor so they can collaborate with each other. This will not be the issue in the cloud. In the
yeah,
cloud, we have all subcontractors, all of our general contractors, the same common data environments. They are all collaboration, giving collaborations through digital solutions. Each one they can have their own, let's say, version controls. They can have their own documents. They know which documents they submitted when the time it was submitted,
yeah,
of course, how and if there is, let's say, if there are revision or there are revision or there any actions taken on the document, so it can go back to the same subcontractor at real time instead of using the normal workflows as was it today or even 10 years ago.
yeah. Got it. Perfect. Yeah, yeah. Also, BIM, or building information modeling, this term that we have been hearing a lot in the recent years. So, can you briefly explain to our listeners what BIM is for the people who don't know it, and how it can be integrated with the cloud solutions that you've just mentioned?
Okay, so BIM is building information modeling, as people as it's known today. So BIM is instead of using our 2D CAD drawings, our normal workflow, we are just we're using 3D models. So why the shift from 2D CAD to 3D models? The shift is usually because if you're utilizing 2D CAD, normal drawing, uh, these lines, these figures or objects or blocks, as we say in CAD, they do not hold information. If we need to change the attributes or need to change the drawing itself, we will be using a lot of time. We will need a lot of different actions to change it one by one. But in them, each object or each, let's say, each line or formation of lines, each one of these hold information. So this information is literally very easy to use. It's very, sorry, not to use, but to modify. So it's
Yeah,
easier to modify on the longer run, and it's easier in the class detection process. It's much easier, way easier in the facility management process. Of course,
yeah,
it's happens before, but after the handover process. So
yeah,
in using BIM, we just instead of using the normal workflows, the daunting workflows that we each time the project itself is a lot more as the data increases in our project, we need to have a better mitigation risk control. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, after the project is done, and if we wanna like go back and change like a couple of columns or a couple of beams, we don't have to like change every document that we have. We only need to change it in one place in the model, and it gets changed all around. Okay, that's perfect.
Precisely.
So it sounds there are a lot of benefits, but I imagine there are also obstacles to do that, and of course these obstacles needs solutions because that's what engineers do. So what are some of the most significant challenges um, that are faced when implementing digital solutions in construction projects, and if you can give us a hint of how these obstacles and solutions are being solved.
Um, as you said before, there are a lot of obstacles in using digital transformation in our projects. So shifting from 2D CAD to BIM models is very daunting process. It's just only as a start because you would need to specify which documents you would be using BIM model on it. You will need someone who does a BIM implementation service, and of course a BIM champion, so he can facilitate the information exchange between all the stakeholders on your project or on your site. Plus, of course, using BIM, you will need to use the standards, the usual standards in our sector as ISO 19650 standards. Of course, the ISO standards are big documents, massive documents. We will not be
Yeah,
going in every part of it today. But in order to doing BIM correctly, as it is, not just doing some useless 3D models that doesn't reflect what your project is, or doesn't reflect the information that you need on your project, uh, it will be a very daunting process, honestly. But it is really worthwhile afterwards.
yeah,
It will change your organization as it is, and of course, it will help construction sector, sorry, the construction companies um, get bigger projects or have easier transformation between all its documents and all its submittals process.
yeah, perfect. And I also think that regarding that these models are sometimes difficult to execute. They are by far much easier than the regular or traditional 2D drawings, or back in the days when they used to like a ruler and a pen to draw the documents. So we came a long way. I think we came a long way in the construction. So let's shift. If we can shift gear a little bit and talk about innovation, and for companies for construction companies in particular that wanna go into that digitization of construction, and wanna drive innovation in their construction projects using data analytics. Um, what would you say are the first steps they should take?
Well, as you just said, so the foundation of the data analytic journey of using data in our project through BIM is, of course, the collection of data.
Yeah,
Not just any collection, not just meaningless one, but accurate and comprehensive ones. So
yeah,
you will need, of course, to know which specific type of data that you need. Of course, the data collection process happens not doesn't happen in a day or even a week.
yeah,
It happens through months and even years of collecting historical data or current data of our project. It can happen through normal nodes. It can happen through IoT sensors, laser scanning, or any new technologies that are currently operating in our construction sector.
yeah, yeah. That's perfect. Yeah. So so sorry about that, Muhammad. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
back.
okay.
Sorry about that minor internet issue. My bad. So, where were we? Okay, we were talking about data collection in the construction companies and startups. So, can you uh, give us a brief about what major softwares that are being used to collect the data?
Okay, so regarding software, as we mentioned before, there are different technologies or different types of data collection. Can use normal checklist forms to collect data, and then we can transform these forms into something else. Other software for collection, we can use the laser scanning
Yeah,
to collect points that can be used in 3D in 3D models in Civil 3D perhaps.
yeah,
Um, Also, one other type of data collection method.
yeah,
We can So instead of points, we can use also the normal total station instead of laser scanning.
yeah, yeah,
There are different really ways of using
yeah, yeah.
of collecting the data collection itself.
Yeah, that's very very helpful. So, can you also elaborate to us some specific reasons because collecting these data is going to cost a lot. So, can you elaborate some specific reasons or use cases for data analytics and construction?
But there, of course, there are major or a lot of different reasons to use data analytics. But
Mm,
or let's say we didn't say one, but the most important part of it is the risk mitigation part. There are a lot of risks in construction. Of course, risks are also very simple word, but it contains of something like safety, submittals, compliance. There are a lot of things regarding the risk. So risk is an inherent part in construction. How that we need to mitigate through our data collections because, as people say, if you know your history, you will not do the same mistake twice in the future. So if you know, of course, you can't know the history of all the construction projects or all the projects in your company or your entity. But
yeah,
of course, at the same time, you will not be using or you will not need experienced people who had the experience of 40 or 50 projects, but you just need a historical method that can
mm,
it facilitates the transformation of data from these people to let's say a dashboard or a result that can show you uh, s- um, what risk mitigation methods we should use in our projects
yeah,
uh, um, as a dashboard or as a point in our risk register if we have
mm,
the risk register at the start of the project. Of course, so predictive analytics or other thing is forecasting issues or forecasting what are the issues that might happen out in the longer run.
yeah,
Uh, So you can have more forward thinking and you can be in control of your project so you can elaborate with your stakeholders better on these parts.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of information. That's actually a treasure of information. So, um, with all of these data, with all of this data being used, are there any compliance regulations that govern the use of data in BIM projects in general?
Uh, well, since you mentioned BIM, data in BIM projects, so the most important or this is most used document is ISO 19650 document.
Yeah,
It has five versions, or let's say not versions, but five main documents.
yeah,
Not all of them are published yet. Let's say the phase document safety is not yet published.
yeah,
But the other documents are published. And what is ISO in general? ISO is an international standard for managing information through the built assets or the live assets.
yeah,
So we instead of using our normal data silos, we are just digitizing our information about buildings and engineering works in
yeah.
general. And there is also another thing regarding data protection, not just data passing from stakeholder to stakeholder. That's ISO, but regarding data protection, we use a GDPR, which is an European, it's just a European standard, a European information for the regulation of data through all the projects or through all the stakeholders. By the way, GDPR is not used only in construction; it's used in every sector utilizing data currently in our site.
So, and basically, these ISO documents are international regulations that are being used all around the world in using data analytics, especially in BIM. Am I correct?
Of course, and also the GDPR mainly is used or mainly focuses on personal information about people or personal information about organization
Yeah,
at the same time.
yeah, yeah. So, given these regulations, what are some benefits of what other benefits does the GDPR compliances for BIM?
Okay, so uh, if we're going to GDPR, let's say firstly, what are the personal information? So personal information is any information that is, as you say, it has an personal or a specific nature of stuff, either through a person or an entity as well. It can include many different parameters as a name, an address, phone number. Of course, all these parameters are used mainly in cloud, in the cloud or in
Yeah,
BIM projects. So if you're using the cloud, all your biometric maybe fingerprints or your relocation IP addresses.
yeah,
Every part of this is utilized in any projects in general, not just BIM projects.
yeah,
So we need. So that's why GDPR was formed. It is formed first in the European Union. It's mainly used in Europe, but a lot of entities, a lot of other countries are using it until they develop something regarding or something similar to GDPR in the region or in their sector.
yeah,
So the benefits of it, it just protects people.
yeah.
It's simple. It protects people, protects entities, their personal information. It's the same thing as NDAs or non-solicitation agreements. All of this just protects people or protects entities from each other and from theft or from misinterpretation of their data.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, yeah, perfect. Yeah. So, and let's shift a bit to the innovation part again, and looking forward to the future. Um, this happening revolution of AI, of course, not just in generative text or generative bots. It's happening all around and benefiting all sectors, and of course, construction sector is one among these. So, how do you see the integration of AI, especially and machine learning, impacting digital construction in the future?
So as you just said, of course, AI and machine learning are a process that will eventually happen, whether we like it or not. We don't have a hand in it yet.
Yeah,
But so regarding the construction sector, hopefully, or we will not say hopefully, but luckily for most people,
yeah,
the sector is slowly integrating through these parts.
yeah,
but it will eventually happen. So as we just said, using machine learning is the same as using data analytics. You need to have a good way of good data collection. So if you
Yeah,
collected your data good, briefly, and comprehensively, you can use machine learning to predict or generate reports of where, let's say, where issues will happen or what kind of risks that might happen in your projects. A specific location, maybe even a specific time, if it is integrated well with weather locations. Um, if you just pass through the machine learning, you can use automated robots. So instead of people
yeah,
doing dangerous works, in the construction fields, you can use robots that will just know where and how to do the work, uh, not just well, but at least safely. And even if the robot is harmed in somehow, it's just a robot. We didn't harm a human life in
yeah,
doing this work, so it just increases our safety.
yeah. Um, yeah. It's actually a bit funny. You started your answer with saying that uh, the integration of AI in all fields is happening whether we want it or not, and it's a bit terrifying because some people like the skeptic people, of course, think that AI and robots are gonna replace us eventually in the future. So, do you think that we will actually reach a point of that we will really have no hand on it, and it will like machines are be developing other machines to do the work, and we will literally have no hand to do with it? Do you think we're gonna
Uh,
reach that point in the future?
Eventually we will. Unfortunately, and eventually we will, because it is not something not currently being done.
Yeah,
Of course, if which one of us knew ChatGPT, so ChatGPT itself has been progressively updating itself. So even
yeah,
the script or even the way of how it is writing its results, it's changing over time.
yeah,
It's not being done by manual typing of people or just misinterpretation of data, but it's just the script, or let's say the algorithm itself is developing itself much better each day.
yeah. That perspective is both very exciting and very terrifying at the same time, don't you think? Okay, so to wrap up, what advice can you give to construction companies looking to transform to more digital methodologies in the future?
Well, that's a very good point. So, firstly, and of course, the most important thing, you need two people or two entities. First is a champion in your company, and second of all, someone from outside your company, another stakeholders that will do the implementation process for you. Because it's if you did it wrong in the first time or you did misinterpret some data, it might be harder to just go back and redo what all your work because you just made some point not
Mm.
clear for your teams. So, and having a champion, of course, in your entity will facilitate this process much better.
Yeah, can you explain again to our listeners what a champion is? Of course, I know, of course, but maybe some of our listeners don't know what a champion is in the BIM process.
Okay, so a champion is just someone who is experienced enough in your entity or in your company that will just facilitate, or let's say will be a coordinator between your company or your stakeholders in your company, your
Yeah,
different teams, and the different stakeholders that will do the digital transformation implementation in your entity. So there will be someone like in between who is coordinating the process as a whole. So instead of being it's harder or taking a lot more time for the external stakeholder to understand and know what your company is doing or what is the nature of your projects. No, the champion is already the experienced one in your company who will facilitate this process and make it a lot easier for your people specifically for them to transform digitally or to digitize their solutions.
yeah, perfect, perfect. Yeah, yeah, great information. So, lastly, my last question to you is for the young engineers out there who might want to follow a path similar to yours and specialize in the area of digital construction. Um, What advice would you give them, or what advice would you give yourself like 2 years back?
Uh, okay, so the main advice is just don't look at people, don't focus on what they are doing. Everyone is having their own path. You don't need to have a fixed path like most people are currently doing. You can
Yeah,
have your own path, just develop it over time. Of course, learn about different aspects of digital fields, either through programming or through data analytics.
yeah,
No one will help you on your journey. I know that and I recognize that because most people don't yet know what are these fields. So
yeah,
you need to help yourself. It will be a little daunting process at the start, but
yeah,
in the future, it will be really rewarding to be
yeah.
also your wife.
Yeah, I'm 100% agree with you. I'm joining my voice to yours, to encourage all the young engineers to take their own path and don't follow like the conventional path that everybody takes, and try new things, and they will you will make it eventually. So well, Muhammad, that has been an incredible deep dive into the world of digital construction, and I'm sure that your insights have been eye-opening to me personally, and I'm sure listeners have learned a tons from you. Is there any final thought that you'd like to share with our audience before we go?
Um, nope, that's it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you. We're very excited um, to show your work and continue shape the future of construction. And that's a wrap up, folks. Please, if you enjoyed my episode, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and also share it with your friends. And thank you so much, and with my guest. Yeah, I'm sorry to keep doing that to you. Okay, again, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that subscribe button, and also join our platform on propticbus.com. Uh, okay, we share a lot of valuable insights on our community in construction tech. Um, a lot of construction tech enthusiasts are there at propticbus.com. So until next time, guys, bye bye.